you're thinking of installing a Lazy Susan, this is what they look like when they're installed. But usually you'll get some kind of a template like this that you can pick how close or how far away you want the middle pole. And I wanted it to be quite a ways out, so I used this closest one. But you can take one of these are loose when you first get them, and you can take one of those and set it down and figure about how close you want it, and then see which of these you want to put on the square. And you can see you can line that up so it comes right down here, or you can actually put it down here. You can put it anywhere you want, but this is where your spindle will be. So you can see you can put those lines, you can put them even with the front if you want them different lengths away. And you just line that up and you drill your holes. So you line it up and you drill right through these 4 spots here. You can do that on the top. You take it down and do it on the bottom. But what do you do if the countertop's already in place? You obviously can't drill through the top. So you can either turn this upside down and tape it to the top of this. But what I actually did, you can see I've drilled holes all through the board. The other one didn't come through all the way, but I did do 4 holes. So what I did is I put the base plate, you can see the base plate right here, and this sits on top of it. The base plate goes down and you put your template down and drill the holes through that. And then you put this down over the holes, and then you can put this bar in it. And what I did is I actually hooked a little level. I actually held a little level, didn't hook a little level, right to this piece right here. And then I brought this up and I hooked this pole to the top piece right here and extended it at the top. And I just held this and made sure it was straight all the way around. And then when it was straight, I just drilled the first hole in and put a screw in, and then I drilled the other 3 holes, and that seemed to work really well. And it was after the fact that I realized that I could have just put the template up here. That would have been the easy way to do it. So there's 2 ways you can do it. You can do the template up top, template on the bottom, but if you don't have room for the template, or if your countertop is already on, you can just do it that way, using the level, putting the base in, putting the pole in without these shelves. You just put the pole in, and it's not a permanent kind of a thing. Hook the top part on, hold this level, and just go around, make sure different ways it's level, and then drill holes up in those 4 spots. And then you put your screws in to make sure that they will hold, not that they will hold, but put the screws in, then undo them, take the pole out, put your shelves on, but you put your bracket on right here and tighten it down with this set screw. After you put this on down here, so you put this on and then you slide down this bracket about where you want it. And what I did is I kept that loose until I had this on top of it, and I moved it up and down until my wife put some different things on the shelf to figure how high she wanted it. And then I just tightened that screw, and it worked out great. And one thing I did before I solidified everything is I got a board and put it right up against this edge to go straight down to make sure there was nothing that came out past where the door would be. So you can do that, and there's nothing that extends out of either side. So that's how you put in a Lazy Susan. Something else with this kind of a corner cupboard, you can see I've got a piece of board here. I actually cut this shelf too short. I cut the hole too big. And so this wasn't going to match up with this. See, it would have been this far back in. When I realized that, I realized I had to put a board in there. So I measured it 1.5 inches, and then without thinking, I cut it 1 inch instead of 1.5 inches. And so I put, yeah, you can see the seam right here. So I put this board in, this board in. So I put those boards in, and then realized I was still 1/2 inch short. This shelf wasn't hooked in at the time, but when I started connecting it, I realized I was 1/2 inch short. And this I had put in some pretty serious adhesive, some glue, and I had put some nails with the gun back through here, and I didn't want to strip all that out for fear it would ruin the edge. And so I thought, well, what the heck, I'm going to try putting another piece on, another 1/2 inch, putting the glue on, putting some nails in there with the gun, and seems to be very sturdy, and I'm not worried at all about how much it will handle. It seems to be very sturdy. So even if you screw up, gigantic fail, you can just put boards in, even if you have to do it twice, if you're dumb enough to have to do it twice, and just fix it. Where there's a will, there's a way. And that was my way. This is Scott, and I hope you liked that about the Lazy Susans and the corner cupboard. And like it and subscribe. And if there's anything else you'd like to see, let me know down in the comments and share it. And we'll talk to you later.